I had so much fear. I could never stand up here. I could never pray for people. I could never do half the things that I'm doing now. Because if I let fear keep me there, I'd still be there. But because I meditated on God's word and I knew what he said about me, I had to step into that fear. And this is the fun stuff. This is where God says, well, for instance, if I'm here and I'm scared and I'm being led to do something, if I just take one step toward that thing to try to let that fear not control me, boom, he shows up.
Amen. Amen.
You know? And so if you stay back here, God's just saying, come on, just take that one little step, you know? Just take that one step. And the next time it's going to be 2 steps. Next time it'll be 3 steps. Right?
Amen.
So he's given us the power to do this stuff. So we need to know God's truth. We need to take those thoughts captive. We need to meditate on it. And we need to cast it out because he gave us the power to do so. And he will. Then he takes it, you know. Maybe not right away the first time, all the time. I know I had some experiences that took a little time. But if you keep stepping in, it'll happen. So anytime you're down and depressed, think about what you're thinking about. And you'll find the root to your problem. You can say, I wish I didn't feel this way.
Then don't.
Yeah. This is where the 3 M's come in. Mind, mouth, and mood. Okay? They're all connected. Whatever you think causes you to say things, which then affects your mood.
Yeah.
And if you keep thinking and saying these things, you might just give the enemy access to your life to create a stronghold. That becomes kind of your way of life. But if we capture that thought from the beginning, because sometimes it's new, sometimes it's happened over the years, so whether it's new or old, you still have to take that thought captive. It's easy for us to talk ourselves in a lousy mood anytime. Sometimes we just wake up with one, and we don't even know why. And I know for me, sometimes even I've just gotten into that. It's like, yeah, I'm depressed. I'm going to feel sorry for myself, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know? Why do we do that? And I don't even know why sometimes.
Been there, done that.
I'm kind of a sensitive person, so I kind of sometimes feel other people's stuff. And I've had to practice, oh my gosh, wait, that's not mine.
Yep.
And had to speak that off of me. You know, but it's discernment so that I can pray for somebody or help somebody, you know, so God uses it. But just as easy as it is to talk yourself into a bad mood, it's just, well, maybe not just as easy, but it is, you can talk yourself out of that mood.
Amen. Meditate.
And the more you do it, the easier it'll
Easier
get.
it gets, yeah.
So if you keep thinking and meditating about all the negative things, what do you think is going to happen? But if you start thinking and meditating about all your blessings, or the opposite of what you're feeling,
Yep.
I can tell you, I just moved into this new house. And since I moved there, I have just felt lonely, empty. And I really can't put a finger on why. Maybe it was a spirit that was there before I got there. Maybe it's because it's a bigger house and I live alone. And so, you know, it just kind of happened that way. A lot of you know that I'm not married. And so I think when I went into my apartment before this, I made a comment that, you know, I'm not going to buy a house again unless I'm married. I was just going to stay in an apartment. But then after 4 years, I got tired of throwing that money away. Decided to buy a house. And so that kind of lingers in my mind too, you know, and I'm in this house by myself, which is fine. But it's like, if I don't take that thought captive, which it took me a little bit to catch it, to be honest, I wallowed in it for a little bit. And after a little bit of time and talking to my friends, I realized, you know, I need to take this captive. I need to speak into my house, speak into myself, and get that garbage out of my house and out of myself. So I did that. And I do feel better. I don't feel as lonely. I kind of feel like, I'm making renovations and kind of getting excited again, So it's all good as long as you don't sit there and wallow in it. So take some of those things and just start speaking the opposite. I am blessed. I am healthy. Thank you for my health, Lord. Thank you for this house. Thank you for my job. I have so many blessings. I really do. And I have no reason really to be sad or upset about certain things, But things can consume us. But resist the devil and he will flee from you. There was even a time where I was so depressed I just wanted to die. I had a certain time in my life where I couldn't make good decisions for myself. I was very emotional, just making bad choices. And I know when I think back to that time, there was years that I felt like I wanted to die. I didn't like life. I wanted God to just take me out. I wasn't suicidal, but I was like, just take me out. This is too hard. I don't want to do this anymore. And it took years to see my life and a way out. So it's amazing to me when I found out at that time that I could do my own thinking. That I don't have to think whatever falls in my head. So some of you already know this, but some of you might be a new mentality. But we have the mind of Christ, according to 1 Corinthians 2:16. We can learn to think like Jesus thinks. If you'll pull up Romans 12:2, Amy. She's back there. I'll just read it. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. You know what? If you want to have what God says you can have, you have to learn to think like God thinks. How many of you don't always do that, and so let your mind go to the garbage dump and you have just this lousy day, right? So whose fault is that? Like this is the point I'm trying to make. It's like we have responsibility for ourselves, and this is not to be hard on you. This is just to teach you that God wants you to understand that you have that power. And I know the devil puts these thoughts in our mind, but he's not going to stop.
Right.
So we have to learn to fight it.
We have more power than he does.
That's right. I just think it's pretty amazing that God has given us that kind of control over our lives. And we can have the destinies that we want. I mean, sometimes there's even a time like, I tell you what, I sought God for 10 years straight. I didn't do anything but that. I was living life pretty righteously, to be honest. And it was still hard for a while. But there came a time where God just flipped the switch. And I heard him say to me, from this point forward, things are going to be different. And I bawled. Because it did. I knew it was true. And from that point forward, it's like, I don't know if I proved to myself that I was going to keep pressing in no matter what. I don't know why he did it. He just chose at that moment to flip that switch. And life just got easier from that point forward. Financially, things were easier. I wasn't as stressed. I didn't feel like people were coming at me from every direction. My kids were like, wow, what happened?
Not so bad.
Yeah, right. So it's worth putting in the time and effort. But we just definitely need to know the truth about what he says about us and who we are. I read a verse, when I was thinking about Jesus when he came up to the crippled man. And he was there for 38 years. I don't know if God felt sorry or Jesus felt sorry for him, but he said, get up. Get up and walk. I just think it's time for us to get up.
Amen. Amen. That's
It's time for us to learn how to stand. and even maybe get a little holy violence inside of us,
Yeah.
you know, have
Holy
that little
anger,
righteous
yeah.
anger. There is a thing called righteous anger.
There is.
And I had to get mad when I felt that way. I had to get mad. And when all that depression was on me and I realized I had that identity, I got in that enemy's face and I said, get out of my face. I am done listening to you. I see you and I will have joy. I will fulfill my destiny in God. And I am going to have purpose. And I just started speaking that out. And I tell you what, because I meant it, because I had passion in it and I had anger in it, that I felt it leave, literally. And I woke up the next morning with joy for the first time in years. And it has never come back like that. I mean, I have my bouts of little sadness, but not like that.
Yeah.
So it is time for us to stand up and know who we are and take that authority over our lives. So what we think about is one of the most important things in our life. And I've determined I want to have a beautiful mind. I want to have a mind of Christ. I want to glorify God in the things that I do. I want to be an example for others, you know. It's important to me.
Amen.
And I want to have good thoughts about people,
Amen.
you know, no matter where they're at. And good thoughts about my future. So if you want that for yourself, I know you can have it. And I just encourage you to meditate on the things God says about you. Read your Bible.
Yes.
Understand it. Repeat it over. Sometimes I'll put little stickies on my mirror in the morning and read it every morning. Whatever I got to do to get something in my hard head. You know? You want to be more proactive in your life. I just encourage you to step out right now. You get some prayers up here. You can come up and get prayer. Or you can come up on the side and just spend time with God. We have an altar up here. Just step out though. I encourage you to step out. And really open your heart to God and just ask Him to show you the things that you're believing that might not be true. You want to change your thinking. You know, God can help you do that. But be intentional. And He'll meet you there. All the times I've stepped out, He met me there. Getting to experience freedom is the best feeling on earth.